Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be?
The WNBA is completely losing it over the latest comedy show featuring none other than Angel Reese. She just declared she's going to take down Caitlin Clark, as if Clark, a living legend, is going to be dethroned by someone who's been caught up in sideline drama and faking injuries. Oh, and let's not forget her constant complaints about the league's pay. Honestly, Angel's behavior is starting to look downright delusional. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple. It's honestly hilarious. How does Angel Reese think she's got what it takes to surpass Caitlin Clark, the player breaking records every season? The only thing Reese has mastered is turning herself into a punchline. Maybe she's aiming for awards and self-sabotage. It sure seems like it. Before she starts talking about dominating the WNBA, she might want to take a hard look at her reputation. A coaching change won't turn her into the star she dreams of being.
What she really needs is a
major attitude makeover. And look, Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go. Did you see her? Angel Reese seems to think that working with David Alexander, LeBron James' trainer, is her golden ticket to becoming the next big thing in women's basketball.
Yeah, right.
As if training with an elite coach will magically transform her into a superstar ready to dethrone Caitlin Clark. While Reese is out here focusing on vague things like perfecting movement patterns, Clark is busy doing what actually matters, sharpening her shooting, improving her playmaking, and dominating the court. Good luck with that, Angel. Clark's been setting the bar so high, you need a rocket to even get close. Reese might have had her moment at LSU, but thinking she's in the same league as Clark? That's like claiming you're dropping a Grammy-winning album after a quick shower. Karaoke session. Pure delusion. Reese can call herself LSU royalty all she wants, but Caitlin Clark?
She's
basketball royalty, period. While Reese talks a big game about taking the crown, Clark's already out there rewriting the rules and redefining greatness. But sure, Angel, tell us more about how you plan to dethrone a legend when you haven't even proven yourself in the pros. Me and Camila, it's the most we've ever lost in our life. I only lost 7 games in my last 2 years at LSU'd. Like, it's been hard for me. But adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of like just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace. Let's take a trip back to the 2023 NCAA Championship. You remember it, right? Angel Reese trying her hardest to steal Caitlin Clark's spotlight with that cringe-worthy taunt, flipping the "you can't see me" gesture right in Clark's face. Oh, it was a moment. All right. Just not for the reasons Reese might have hoped. While Reese was busy pulling WWE level theatrics, Clark was still the undisputed best player on the court, effortlessly outscoring everyone, including Reese. Reese's big move was nothing more than a desperate grab for relevance, a fleeting attempt to steal the spotlight for all of 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Clark wasn't playing for attention. She was making history.
You really can't make
this stuff up. There is no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA. And speaking of stats, let's talk about Reese's debut in the WNBA. Let's just say it didn't exactly turn heads. Caitlin Clark came in and lit up the league, averaging 19.2 points per game and dishing out assists like she'd been playing in the WNBA for years. Meanwhile, Reese was sitting at 13.6 points per game, almost 6 less than Clark, in case anyone missed that. Oh, and Clark also led all rookies with 8.4 assists per game. Meanwhile, Reese was still figuring out how to get a consistent shot off. Now, on to the Rookie of the Year award. Clark took that trophy with ease. It wasn't even a contest.
Reese?
She was just a finalist, which is starting to sound like a participation trophy at this point. Clark didn't just win. She came into the league and made it clear she was ready to dominate. Reese? She's still out here trying to catch up. But they still ask you about Rookie of the Year. What is your stance on that? So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted number 7.
So
I'm like, cool. Like, the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7. So the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, alright, cool. I could just hoop. So I don't know when like it started to just break out where I was just in Rookie of Year conversations. I'm like, alright, cool. It's because you started killing it. Well, yeah. But wait, it gets even better. Reese's off-court antics have turned into a full-blown sideshow. She scored a signature shoe deal with Reebok. How groundbreaking. A shoe deal for someone who hasn't even proven she can consistently deliver at the highest level. If you like the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel by leaving a nice comment. Sure, Reese, let's throw a party for that. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here, actually changing the game with every move she makes. And Reese? She's busy flaunting her lifestyle on Instagram. It's cute, sure. But if she thinks that's going to help her catch up to Clark, good luck with that. If I were Reese, I'd start focusing on basketball instead of counting Instagram likes. Let's talk about money because we know Reese loves to bring it up. She's out here flaunting her WNBA salary of $73,439, complaining about how expensive life is. Reese, sweetie, you're not living in a mansion in Beverly Hills, so maybe it's time to start budgeting better. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is all about the game, handling her business and clearly not worrying about how much a latte costs at Starbucks. Now let's dive into this so-called unrivaled league that Reese hopes will be her big break. The 3x3 League is set to kick off in January 2025, bringing together 34 of the top global players. Yeah, it's a huge deal. With all these elite athletes coming together and Reese,
She's stepping
into a lion's den.
Sure.
She's going to earn $250,000 for the season, a huge step up from her measly $81,000 WNBA salary. But here's the catch. She's going up against players who are on a completely different level. It's not just about money or headlines. It's about performance. And right now Reese's game doesn't scream ready for prime time. Instead, it says, I've got a lot of work to do. And here's where it gets even juicier. Reese is walking into a league stacked with some of the most talented players on the planet. She may think she's ready for the spotlight, but when the games start, the spotlight will be on those who can actually bring it. If Reese thinks showing up and having a good time will make her the next big thing, she's in for a rude awakening. Critics are already calling this an overestimation, and honestly, they might be right. This league will be filled with top-tier talent, and Reese isn't even close to the caliber of players who've already proven themselves. While she might get some exposure, she could also get exposed. There's no hiding when you're up against the best. If Reese doesn't elevate her game, this league might just expose how far behind she is from Clark and how much further she has to go to be on the same level. Let's not forget the fans. Reese's loyal supporters from LSU, now Indiana, who are all in her corner. And I respect that. But sometimes it's a little too much. I think there's some misplaced respect here. And yes, some racial undertones in the conversation. But here's the truth. Reese can talk all she wants about surpassing Clark. But those are just words.
Talk is cheap.
And it's not going to get her anywhere in professional basketball. If she wants to challenge the best, she better have the talent to back it up. Right now, Reese's mouth is doing more work than her game. She's making all these bold claims. But the problem is, she doesn't have the skills to turn them into reality. Clark has already proven she's the real deal. And Reese is still stuck in the I'll get there someday
phase.
And let's not overlook the fact that while Reese is training with one of the best in the business, Clark is still out there grinding, putting in the work that counts. You can't buy your way to the top. You can't just train with a top-tier trainer and expect to suddenly dethrone a legend. It takes years of dedication, consistent effort, and most importantly, talent. While Reese is busy perfecting her general movement patterns, Clark is making history every time she steps on the court. So when Reese says she's going to dethrone Clark, well, let's just say the only thing she'll be dethroning is her grip on reality. This unrivaled league is a great opportunity for Reese to get some exposure. But let's be real. It could also be the place where the gap between her and Clark becomes even more painfully obvious. It's easy to talk about taking over when you're not really challenged. But when you face actual elite competition, that's when things get tough. And right now, Reese is nowhere near Clark's level. If she doesn't step up her game and stop acting like she's already there, she's going to be nothing more than a footnote in Clark's journey, not the one to dethrone her. Thank you so much. Subscribe now.